Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Elena Demonetized. I am here with Alpha Wolf and this year's GayVN winner. I'm so excited because he's such a comedian. He's so funny. I can't wait. Drew Valentino, you guys.
Hi.
So without further ado, let's get right into this week's episode of Elena Demonetized.
Drew Valentino, what's up, bro? How are you?
What's up?
Well, most people probably don't know who you are because this is a new audience for the guys. So why don't you go ahead and let everybody know who you are? Kind of like, why don't you just give you a little backstory, where you're from, kind of how you, what was it like growing up, where you're from?
Yeah.
You know, and being gay, kind of like that whole bit. Like, what's your whole backstory? Yeah. And then we'll kind of lead it up into adult film.
So basically, I am Drew Valentino, and I was born and raised in New Jersey, and was there my whole life. I'm Italian, Puerto Rican, and most people there, there's a lot of Italian and Hispanic people there, and I loved it, but I hated the cold, and there's no gay scene there. The best gay scene in New Jersey is New York, and like, so as I got older, I started to realize, like, I want to go to like a city. And then I just right around that time I started OnlyFans, and then that just kept picking up, and then eventually I settled on Atlanta because it's warmer and on the same coast as my family, and cost of living is really cheap. And while doing OnlyFans there, networked with the people at Falcon, Bo Butler and Cole Connor.
That was with the two boys out in there in ATL, the guys that do their
Rick and Griff.
Yeah. Is that how you kind of got linked up with?
I think
with the rest of the
boys. From indirectly and somewhat directly. So through Rick and Griff and other people, I eventually met people at Falcon, and then they signed me when I shot my first few scenes with them, which was Ride or Die.
Yep, I remember when you got signed that weekend.
That
was a very that was a wild scene. I was kind of putting myself in your shoes, and I'm like, damn, like, this is a wild introduction to, like, coming in. Like, thank God you had the shot content, and, like, I'm sure you'd, like, been to parties and stuff like that prior to that. So, like, that whole idea may have not been maybe, like, the consensual R-word aspect, but you know what I mean? But rather, it was, I just was like, damn, because for me coming into it, I was a little bit different, you know? And I was just like, damn, it was kind of intense for me. You know what I mean?
For sure, because, like...
What about it was so intense for people who don't know what Ride or Die is? Because, like, they're hearing you being like, what's intense about it? What was so intense about it?
So, basically, Ride or Die was Raging Stallion's big production of the year, where they dumped all this money into this one film, hoping to win a bunch of films.
Big budget.
It worked because they did. They won a bunch of awards, but the movie was about prison, and the scene I did was a 5-way gangbang. So it was like, you know, I'm just coming into, it's like my first studio scene.
Well, it was
the first one ever?
Well, that movie, I also did a scene first with Bo Butler, and where I topped, and then 2 days later did that scene. So
that's right. So that was technically your second.
Technically my second, but within 1 week.
Your first film being a feature film, huge film. Like, what was it like going onto that set? Because I know for me, I'd been there for 6 months, and so, but again, I'd never seen a set like that. Like, the money and time that Billy put into that to build that thing was just insane. Like, walking into a full-on, like, prison, I was like having flashbacks.
Yeah, it was really cool and really crazy because I didn't know what to expect. I never did it. And then I went there, and it was a full studio set dressed up like a legit prison. I mean, they had the showers and the cells. Yeah, D block.
It was D block.
D block. And like, even after just my scene with Bo, which was a more normal scene just in a prison cell.
But that was after getting beat up.
That's the thing, is we had to fake a whole fight scene.
That was a full-ass fight scene.
There was, like, extras that were all in jumpsuits, and we had to fake a fight in the cafeteria, and, like, it was so...
I'm, like, just guessing, but I think there was at least 20 people...
Oh, yeah.
Like, on camera at one time. Like, that was a whole on...
It was... Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, like you said, there was the fight scene where it was 20 people on camera.
Like, let's look the GIF of it.
The GIF, it's very... It's very dark. That's the thing. Ugh. It's very dark. I mean, a lot of the sex scenes were like non-consensual in the storyline.
Storyline, non-consensual, R-word scenes. I mean, we consented to it prior to shooting, obviously, but the way that it's acted out and played out,
the story.
These are like fantasies that a lot of people have, you know, and so sure. It was like Tony DeMarco and Ben Rush were like, hey, let's go for this, because a lot of people have that jailhouse, like prison fantasy of like.
Do you have that fantasy?
I do. I for sure do. It's so hot.
Our friend, do you know Hattler? Hattler's, he's a trans porn star, does trans and bi stuff, and he does some gay stuff too, but he got locked up in Idaho, and we were talking about prison, and like when I went into prison, it was like, you know, I was like, I had to go fucking fuck someone up quickly, and there, as soon as he walked in, he's like, someone asked him if he could suck his dick immediately.
Really?
He's like, my first gay experience was in prison. He's like, where he was at, everybody was
Wait,
fucking.
Somebody asked
so he
to
walked
suck
in,
his dick?
Yeah,
or
he walked in. He walked in, immediately approached. Hey, bro, can I suck your dick?
Really? That's nuts.
That's why I was like,
I want to go to prison.
I know. Get locked up in Idaho.
Yeah. That's crazy. Only in Idaho.
Yeah.
Only in Idaho.
Yeah, so we had that fight scene prior. Then you had, you know, then Bo came to save you, and you had your little romantic hookup. I think Tony did that. Tony's like, let's give him a little soft presentation into this. But then, like, yeah, me, Rain, Bennett Anthony, and Chris Damned, we fucking gave it to you.
Yeah, and it was, there's so
we'll
many
flash a picture up there so you guys can see the cover
of that scene, because first of all, everybody's like job was to be so verbal, you know, and it just, which kind of made it easier. There was 4 people, so you can kind of
bounce off each other and kind of like ad-lib.
I still cracked the fuck up that I don't know if you know.
You had to stop a couple times because we're fucking.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like non-consensual, but we're all laughing. But I don't know if you remember this, but there's a part that made me laugh so hard because everybody, you know, all these insults and slurs and verbal things just roll off the tongue, and
easily.
You stop thinking about it, and they just come out. And I remember I was eating somebody's ass.
Oh my God.
You were talking shit, and you were like, "Yeah," because you're so used to saying "choke on that dick."
Yeah.
And you went "choke on that fucking hole," and then we all like, "Wait, that didn't make sense."
How do you choke?
And we all we're all trying not to laugh. It's easier for me because I'm eating
because your ass.
And then and they never edited it out. It made it.
It's still there.
Nobody caught that. You know,
was a laugh in there or no?
Well, there was no laugh, but you could see her eyes like, "What?"
Choke on that hole.
Choke on that hole.
Choke on that hole.
What else was really funny?
Oh,
about that?
dude, do you remember how we ended that? How we had to end that scene? Do you remember ending the scene? Cum shots.
Yeah. Where I was.
What happened?
Oh, something different happened.
Do you remember how you had to come?
Oh, I needed like a million things because it was like the first time. I think you had to finger me.
I fucking milked your prostate, dude.
Yeah, that was so hot.
You were like,
somebody sat on my face.
Someone sat on your face. Chris Dam sat on your face, and you ate his ass, and I fucking massaged your prostate.
Right.
You fucking finally came.
Yeah, it worked.
But it took a while.
It did take a while.
Hey, props on that, dude, because like,
yeah,
you did not give up.
Even I can still say that there has not been a single scene in the year plus that I've been doing this that I never didn't come.
Yeah, and you've always finished.
It started with that.
Congratulations. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because I'm sure that's in your head where you're like, I can overcome anything with. If I can do that, I can do anything.
Right, exactly.
Your first scene with Bo Butler, did you come or no?
I did.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Oh wow, so you've always just like.
I've never not come.
You've never faked a cum shot.
I was nervous going in, but I didn't want to voice that into reality.
I'm sure he's faked a cum shot. Not in porn.
Yeah, like 2 a.m.
Yeah, get this grinder hook up the fuck out of here now.
Get out of here. Yeah, and what's really funny is that with Bo, so I come more easily typically from oral. So I told him from the beginning it's probably better since this is my first time that we end this with me fucking Bo's mouth, and he was so over it, but like, and I came, but he was so over it at some point because he's just laying there taking it in his mouth. And what's so funny to me is that we joked about it afterwards that he was just laying there in complete hell, like there's a still photo from that scene of him on the bed with my dick in his mouth, and he looks fucking miserable.
So upset.
And I made that his like when he calls. That's the picture.
That's his profile picture
with the dick in his mouth. It's so funny.
Oh, because he was hanging off the edge of the bed, and you were fucking him or no?
No, he was just laying down on his back. But his eyes,
still.
he's like. And when he calls, that's what blows.
It went from he was upset to she was very irritated. Bo was here the other day, actually.
Mm-hmm. I know, he told me.
Yeah, it was rad. Yeah, we interviewed him, and then he interviewed my hole.
Oh, that's so thoughtful.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna get lost inside of it, dude, but he came out. It was fine.
That's good.
Yeah, it was actually. You know what? I'm sure you already knew this, but I didn't know this. Like, because like all of his scenes in studio, he's a bottom. But he came over here. He came over here like with a fucking intention, dude.
I'm telling you. That's
I'm telling you what, dude. I've had to post it on Twitter. I was like, and I told him I wasn't no bullshit. Like, I've been fucked. I mean, we've all taken great dick before, but like there was something about it because he and I had been taught ever since I made a Twitter. He was like, Bo used to fangirl me before Bo was Bo. And he was like,
So you did porn before Bo did?
He and Bo came in right before me.
Oh, okay.
Like maybe 4 months before me, but he was shooting content way longer before that.
Oh, okay.
A lot of the guys were shooting content and then got into porn. Right. I did it reverse.
Right.
I did porn and then started making content.
You did everything ass backwards.
I did my life ass backwards.
Right.
I fucked up my entire life and then decided to fix it at 32. So Ride or Die was your first thing, and then coming out, you know what? How many did you get? We got a lot of awards out of that thing. Not us in general, but like the crew.
For sure, because it got at least one award at the GayVN, and I don't remember, maybe like best director also or something like that. And then
the whole crew.
Tony got best director.
Maybe that's what it was, best director, but then also best movie or something. And then now it's up again for the Grabbies.
There's a lot in Grabbies.
And at XBiz it got stuff.
Our scene specifically is I think Grabbies. I think the scene that we have me, you, Rain, and Ben and Anthony.
Oh, really?
I think.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. I just voted on it.
I voted this morning too.
How much money went into Ride or Die?
I wondered that. I don't know.
I voted for both of us, by the way.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah. Same.
If you guys didn't know, Drew is the #1 versatile performer, and
he won.
I know he is the. Well, we're up. He didn't get versatile yet.
Right.
Not yet, right. But he did get GayVN. Dude, speaking of GayVNs, like coming straight out of the fucking gate, dude.
Yeah.
That's so rad. Like,
I'm really excited about
gate.
that. And also what's fun is, so I won for the GayVNs, I won the Best Newcomer, which is like the big one if you're new, because that's awarded by GayVN.
Yeah, that's by the committee itself.
Yeah, and then,
but then fans.
Fan voted awards, I was nominated for a few, and I won Favorite Newcomer. So it's like
you are definitely
hard flex to both those together.
Like the fans and the fucking people.
Right, like everybody agreed.
Everybody agrees.
So I love that. And then, like you said, so now the Grabbies are up, and I'm nominated for Best Verse, Best Newcomer, and I think like Hottest Cock or something like that.
You do have a hot cock.
Thank you.
First time I met Drew, we were getting dressed. Getting ready to shoot
in the green room.
And I don't know what came over me. Well, your dick was out, and it was. Did I ask to suck it, or did you?
I think I asked you to suck it.
Oh, you asked if I could suck your dick. Either way, it was consensual, and you face fucked me. Like that was like we were like, hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. And then like it was like within 5 minutes, I was sucking your dick.
Yeah, I remember that. I think I instigated that.
So unprofessional of us.
I don't think so.
So it's very bro stuff.
It's very normal for him to be unprofessional on set. So that's like second nature.
She considers like if I'm like if like camera's off, and like me and you were fucking prior to camera going on, like is that unprofessional?
So this is my thought on that.
Yeah, let's break it down.
Is that
relationally?
So one of the first things like where I had like conception of this is that when I first started, Trenton Ducati had said to me that the difference between somebody that just does porn versus a porn star is somebody that can kind of build chemistry with anybody or just some type of connection, commonality or something. And I feel like doing that like having sex or fooling around off set is doing that. You know what I mean? Like
building
because
chemistry.
we got to know each other, and like we had fun and it was hot. And then like so then when we had our scene, that adds to just some connection, you know what I mean? So
I agree on that side. But on the other side, being that if you were in a relationship, how would that affect you? Or possibly your partner, say like they're a little bit they're struggling with you doing porn, but like
no, hypothetical, it's us you're talking about. Anyway, so it's kind of like for me it's kind of like when he films like trans scenes, when he like was with me and he was like fucking
when I was with you, I still am with you.
Oops.
Oh. Oops.
And like he would like fuck all these trans girls off camera. I was like, that's not work. That's doing it for yourself.
I did it once.
I'm talking. Let me talk. Right. And so I'll just be like, that's unprofessional because like you're doing it for yourself at that point. Like you're not really like when the camera goes on. Like I have a friend Brittany, and she only fucks when the camera's rolling. If they cut, she stops entirely because like. She has like a man and she's like, that's like at that point, like it's not work anymore. Like she's only getting paid when she's clocked in, meaning when the camera's on. And so for him to be fucking these girls off camera, I'm like, you're not getting paid for that. So you're just doing it for yourself. So you're fucking cheating, dude. Like I get work is work, but it's kind of like at that point, like,
I get that.
That's where my perspective is coming from. And I kind of just like what, like you weren't getting paid for that little time that you were fucking her. Like the scene you fucked is like 30 minutes total, but now you're fucking for 45 minutes after. Like what the fuck?
Oh, well.
So that just has not been my experience because since I've been doing porn, I've been happily single for a long time. So I feel like that's something that needs to be discussed
believe me, it was discussed.
Individual basis.
Believe me, it was. Believe me, there was boundaries.
Yeah. And that's fine. But what I'm saying is that individual situation is not going to impact my belief of what's professional on set and what's not professional. I still think it has value to it. But then if you guys decide that for your relationship that you don't want to do that, that's a whole separate thing.
100%. You know what I mean? I agree, and I see where you're coming from. Where as far as like it building chemistry, because you have that prior, it makes things that much more magical for like when you do like go on camera. It's kind of like you guys already built that connection.
Right.
But for me, I'm kind of just like, dude, why the fuck do you need to build a connection with some other bitch that's not me? Like you're getting paid to literally fuck and act. As an actor, you can fake the chemistry. You don't need to actually have it for real.
You know what's funny is that I totally get where you're coming from, but if this was a gay man, like if I had a boyfriend and my boyfriend was saying this to me, I'd be like, you are a crazy person. like this. But that's also the difference between like, you know, a gay man and you know what I mean.
You're fucking funny.
But do you see like the logistics from?
Like, I understand it.
So does that make me crazy? Because I'm speaking from kind of just a realistic point of view, where it's kind of like, because if I did porn and he found out that I did that, believe me, my whole house would be set on fire.
No, you have to understand from my perspective is that like I am somebody that not only would want an open relationship, but would even want like a polyamorous one. So like I have a different experience and perspective where it's like for me, like my thought is when it comes to dating is like if I have a boyfriend and we are really in love with each other and into each other, and then he, like, let's say we go on vacation or on a cruise or a gay cruise, and then like some really hot guy is hitting on him, like I would like to watch. You know what I mean? Because it's like this is my partner, I love him, and now some other guy's like making him happy. Like I would feel his happiness through that. And I know that a lot of people can't relate with that. That's like a very wild.
It's a very interesting perspective.
You know what I mean? That. You know, it's like so like I said, more than just open, but polyamorous. Yeah. You know.
See, for me, I grew up being very monogamous, and I grew up just always like having that mindset of kind of just like you have one partner. I've never cheated. I've always been like good when it came to like, relationships, and so like dating him now, being in porn, I was kind of just okay. Listen, like this is really new for me, so we're gonna set these boundaries to make things easier. Can you comply with that? He said yes. And so when he didn't go through with it, I got upset.
100%. I mean, like I said, it's an individual basis kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. Obviously, like the whole building chemistry off camera, I get it. But like for me, I look at it as like another way of kind of just like, you don't need to be doing that. You wanted to do that. So it's kind of like, for me, I told him, I was like, take away like the characteristics of what you did versus cheating. The only difference is that there's a camera there. Because like, you're fucking another bitch. You're enjoying
Not
it.
Woman.
Yeah.
Another bitch.
Kind of like, because like, I don't get threatened when he fucks other guys because I'm kind of just like, he's not going to go and like leave me in front of the dude. But like other bitches, that's a threat. Any bitch is a threat. And any girl can admit that. So it's kind of like, I'm like, you're going on set, you're fucking another bitch. And like, you're enjoying it. you're enjoying it, obviously, because it's what you're into. And so you didn't tell me about it. And when you came back home, you lied about it.
Yeah, well, that's another thing, is that in my situation, like, I would never, no matter how open I am, lying is lying.
Yeah. And that's so he did that. And so I'm kind of just like, I was like, you literally full and fucking cheated. And I find out later that he fucked her off camera. I'm kind of just like, oh my God. So you even like, you're more of a shitty person than I thought you were. Cause kind of like, you lied about it. And then you were fucking her off camera. Like, what the fuck? That wasn't work. Like, the only difference between like you and a cheater is that you had a camera there and it got released in public. That's it. But everything that you did was a characteristic of someone cheating. You sneak out, you lie about it. I'm kind of just like, you like, you didn't tell me about it. You did it, came back home, denied it, and kind of just like, you didn't tell me about it. And it's kind of like, dude, you literally did what a cheater would do. And you went there, you fucked another bitch and enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Let's all keep in mind this happened one time in October and it's never happened again. So she's talking. It
happened 5 fucking times.
Since we're bringing Drew into our whole relationship, since he's our counselor now, I'm so sorry, Drew, that you had to be a part of it. Thank you for letting her vent to you.
I'm glad I instigated it.
Should have just agreed with her. God damn it!
Instead, I called her crazy.
I told her she's a crazy person. Whoops. Ladies and gentlemen, when a lady doesn't get her way, this is what happens.
Think you're a crazy person at all.
If you were a faggot, you'd be.
If you're a gay man, then I would be. Yeah. Okay, so it's not that the person's crazy. It's just I would never put myself in a situation because I wouldn't date somebody that would want any form of monogamy. You know what I mean? So like, it's just different experiences and different perspective.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like for him, that's something that he would prefer to do also. So it's kind of like, it's not like I'm like pulling him out of porn and being like, you have to monogamous, you know? Like, ideally, he wants a monogamous relationship. He is, like, very, like, he wants me to offer himself. So it's kind of like the restrictions that I put on him, he would also want for me. So it's kind of like, it's fair in that way. But then because he does porn, I set up boundaries to make it compromisable so that we can both be happy. But then when those boundaries weren't met and they were broken, that's when the issues happened. I
totally get that.
And I want to point out, because then people are always kind of like, oh, well, then maybe you shouldn't have dated a porn star. And the thing is, like, I told him this many times, his work never bothered me. I never once held porn against him. However, when he broke certain boundaries, that's what I held against him, your character as a person.
No,
like,
that makes sense.
I don't mind him doing porn whatsoever, but it's when you lie about it and break our boundaries, that's when, like, I'm getting mad about. So it's kind of like, you can date a porn star all you want. You just got to set boundaries. And that's what I did. And so when he didn't meet them, I was like, or he broke them, I was pissed off.
So if porn doesn't bother you, my work doesn't bother you, how do you feel when I shoot a gay scene compared to a bi scene? If it doesn't bother you, it should be. I feel the same way. So it does bother you. Go ahead and tell them how it makes you feel when
No, but it's kind of like, here, the boundaries were just don't fuck girls, because again, I'm not threatened by guys. I'm threatened by girls.
So the work, okay.
The work, you doing gay scenes, I don't care, because I'm not threatened by guys.
But, do you identify as?
I'm not gay.
You're not. Are you
I'm pan. We did this the other day.
I remember trying to understand.
We figured out I'm pan. Because if I connect with you, whether you're man, woman, trans, as long as I make a connection with you, even if, dude, I've hooked up with people that are like considered not attractive, but I've had a connection with that person. So that's usually my vibe.
Interesting.
Yep.
I have a hard time grasping that. Like,
I'm attracted to women.
You're attracted to women.
I gravitate towards women. I gravitate towards feminine energy, but there's also an aspect of me that I do enjoy dick. Not an aspect, a part of me that I really do enjoy dick. I'm attracted to that also.
That's what I remember you explaining when we first met. Yep. Is that like, so you're attracted to women, but you like dick.
I like dick, but not as I progress through this, answering that, like, being attracted to dick, now I've been like more accepting, like, where I'm like, damn, I kind of vibe with that person. And I do kind of build that a little bit, you know, like being aware of that, being candid. Like, I can't just be like, oh, because I'm not repulsed in that sense. Like, if I'm vibing with someone and shooting a good scene, there's obviously some chemistry there. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing and be decent at it if I hated it. You know what I'm saying?
I like hearing that. That's so fascinating. It's like hard for me to fully picture, but I appreciate that distinction, like that you know what I mean, because that's not the norm in terms of like what's common. Right. You know what I mean? It's not most people identify as straight or gay, and even more rarely bi. So it's like this is some other version of
all
it.
Other shit that I just created on my own, basically. Yeah. I don't know. It's just kind of how I like.
Yeah, but you're just being honest.
I'm just being dead serious. Cool. Like it's how I am. Because like growing up, like I always had it in the back of my head. You know, like I wonder what, you know, hooking up with a guy's like. It was there, but it was never acted upon. Just based out of fear mostly, because where I lived, and I had like approached my mom about a couple things when I was younger, and I got shut down. So I was just like, you know what, I'm not gonna go there. And I just kind of like imagine like creating like a pseudo self and not being authentic like up until you're fucking 32, you know, and then at that point for me, I'm like, damn, like I've not been like living for me in that sense. And then that question is like, well, who am I? And what do I want? What do I like? And that's kind of what I've been trying to figure out, you know? And so that's why my answer is, well, how do you identify? That's why my answers are so weird, because my whole life I've been with women, but at the same time I've been so curious about men and trans women and like just.
But then now that you dabbled it all, like.
Again, women. I gravitate towards women, but I'm gonna shoot content with Drew after this. We already have a little bit of chemistry. We've already vibed. We've already hung out. We've shot together already, so it's gonna look really good. And I'm gonna enjoy it. You know. So
but then again, it's kind of like I'm not threatened by Drew, because kind of like again, you gravitate more towards women.
Right.
So it's kind of like,
I'm not going to be in a relationship with a guy. I've tried that. I tried to do that. I tried to date a guy.
Did you?
I did. I tried to do that, and just I like full on like went out to dinner, went on a date, like spent the night with him.
Wow.
That's so cute.
I know, it's so
adorable. I literally chose to do that. Like my girlfriend at the time, actually, she's like, you know what? I'll go with you, like, because I was like scared. You know what I mean? I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do this because I need to check off that box and like figure out who the fuck I am, because I've been this fucking heroin addict for so long, and then I went to prison, just all these things, and losing the kids, getting the kids back. I'm like, dude, who are you? You know what I mean? So through that, I just had to check that box off, and I, went out to dinner, and it's the first dude I ever had sex with, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he was in the industry also, but fucking first guy, I actually topped him. You know, it was very interesting because I kind of liked him, you know, but
That's
we were
so
both
interesting.
We were
right.
Yeah.
But then but what happened was like I lost interest really quick because of the way, because I went to him and I told him this, and he's like, the response that I got was like not like the loving response that I thought that I was gonna get, and so I was just like, yep, it's not for me, because I like opened myself up so quickly. I'm like, oh, maybe this is who I am, and it got shut down. I'm like, nope, that's not for me, you know. So I don't know if that was like.
What's interesting to me is how even just a moment ago you said that like even though you gravitate more towards women, that like we're gonna shoot a scene and we have an established chemistry, right? And my understanding of that, like I agree with that, but it's like our chemistry I view more as just because like we're friends. We know each other, so if we film, we're gonna have a good time, make some jokes, laugh, enjoy our time, and do some things that feel good. But like, so that's my understanding of it. But I can't. You
mean like sexual chemistry is what you're referencing?
Well, what I'm saying
we don't have sexual chemistry.
Despite everything, like the friend chemistry, which is clearly understandable and defined, like I can't imagine, but like you being attracted, you're not attracted to men, so it's different. You know what I mean? Just like if you and I spent a whole day together and found out we really have a lot in common and we really like each other, and then we filmed a scene, and it's like, that scene could be really enjoyable because of an established chemistry, and we really have a great time and do some things that feel good. Yeah. But that doesn't change the fact that I'm not attracted to women. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm hard to understand if like you agree with that, or if you're attracted to somebody's who they are enough that you would be attracted to them as a man.
I think that's a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm a very open person. You know what I mean? But being that she's my partner, and this is who I'm in love with and who I'm with, like that there's nothing that diverts me from that. You know what I mean? But no, I'm not. Again, like that's a good analyzation.
You know what I'm saying? It's like different.
Oh my God, am I gay?
I mean, there were times where like he's always said to himself, he's like, he's not into guys, but he can't appreciate like a good looking man.
No, I was just gonna tell Drew that. Like, no, like you're an attractive dude. You know what I mean? You're very attractive. But like, if you were standing like you're standing there and Elena's standing there, like I'm gonna look at both of you guys, but I'm like, I guess I've never really done that. I've been so closed off in my head where I'm like, I'm only like in like I don't know. You got me all fucked up, dude.
I didn't mean to make it worse.
So we just went from us
More complicated.
You're being our counselor, and now you're counseling shit,
your
dude.
Sexuality.
What are we gonna title this? Therapist? Fucking therapy with
Drew Valentino. Dr. Drew. Dr. Valentino.
You're ending this with a comedy sketch, bro.
Yeah. Because like that's the thing is that like if there's an attractive man and an attractive woman stand next to each other, and I could look at both of them and appreciate that they're both attractive and fun to look at,
right?
But only one of them do I feel this compulsion of like I want to touch them. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like,
for me, but so like for me, I'm like I want to touch the woman and I want to touch the dick,
and the dick, but not the like.
And thus Elena was born.
So like when I look at you, you're very handsome, and like looking at your face, like I want to make out with you. But like
I would make out with you too.
But I know you would.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is that you said that you feel that way about a woman, and then the guy's dick.
Yeah.
But like, are you feeling that about his upper half? Ever?
I have, because you've seen me do that at Rich's.
You were also on drugs.
I was on K. I wasn't sober.
It was the drugs.
But I was sober when I went on.
Here's the scary part, you guys. If you ever go to a gay bar with your friends or your gay man or whatever, or any kind of man, and he goes to the restroom, keep in mind he's coming back not sober, because you were sober the whole night. You went to the restroom, and I trusted whoever that was with you to take care of you, and they gave him drugs.
They didn't. I mean, they offered it, and I said yes.
Exactly, because totally I wasn't there. But the restroom is. You went to the restroom and you came back all bad.
And then I was making out with a couple guys. Yeah. So,
and you said they didn't give me drugs. They offered it, and I said yes. Very important distinction.
Yeah, they didn't like force it upon me.
Right.
No, but homeboy over here got real bold. He was making out with all these dudes in front of me.
Really?
And I'm like this. I'm like, okay, let me look around. Is there any cameras recording? Is he getting paid for this? Not clocked in? No. Got it. I'm like, what the fuck you doing cheating on me right now in front of my face, dude?
Wow.
Like, what the hell? And he's like, oh my god, where am I? Like, oh yeah, going back to that. Like, how do you ever feel that way towards like the upper half of a man?
You know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna start looking at his upper half.
Like, what if it was a merman?
And there's no dick.
You know what I mean? Like,
oh my god, wait, I like that, because then you can't touch the genitalia.
Right,
what if it was like what if it was like a merman?
Okay, so
would you hook up with a merman? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Take away the penis. What would you do?
Question: how do they fuck?
No.
Do they fuck?
Answer this question.
Would I fuck? Yeah, I'd fuck scales.
Mermaids lay eggs. I think
they lay eggs. So then
no,
merman fertilizes the eggs.
But do they have dick?
I think it's just the hole that.
Just the hole. So I'd fuck his hole. I'd fuck a merman's hole.
Wait, no. That defeats the purpose of the question. Waist up. Like, a merman swims up to you. It's like, hey, bro. Would you make out with him?
King Triton.
I was just about to say, King Triton himself. Like, okay, but that's big dick energy. But like, that's not. Hell
yeah, King Triton come fucking stick.
Yeah, he can put his old Trident in my ass. Fuck this thing. You ever been Tridented?
It's called a Maserati. Well, I have been masturbating to Disney porn a few times, so.
Oh my god, he has.
You are refusing to answer the question about the merman.
Yes. I think I would.
I feel like we are seconds away from Elena being like, oh, well, there was this one time he was hooking up with a merman.
He was fucking this fish. Speaking of fucking fish, Elena used to masturbate to this video of a guy getting a blowjob from a fish.
Really?
Yes.
That's kind of hot.
Because, okay, so it was this guy going fishing, right? And he like pulled the fish out, and the fish was like on his dick sucking it. And he was just like face fucking this fish. And the fish was like mouth open, just fucking sucking it.
Wanting it.
And I was like, I would watch that and like imagine if I was the fish.
That's so funny you say that.
And I was like, just imagine this beautiful white cock just like fucking me, like face fucking
me. It goes
me.
into your whole body.
Yes, because the fish, it went on the poor filet-o-fish.
This is so fucked up because like we're like, man, that's hot, and the poor fish is like, please kill me.
But he came to Disney porn, Ariel.
Oh,
he came to Maleficent. He came to Eric and
Ariel. Yeah.
Did you get to the part where
situation?
No, did you get to the part where King Triton was fucking Ariel?
No, you know what? Let's watch gay Disney porn this time. Let's see if I can come
without the dick. I know you like dick.
It's because he touches his dick.
You just want to hop up.
I just want.
I haven't tried.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm open to it. I'll open myself up to it.
But when you look at a woman.
Are you trying to turn
in
me
the face? What's that?
Are you trying to turn me out?
I'm not trying.
Understand.
I'm just offering, and you said yes.
I'm trying to let you know that you are gay, dude. I'm just trying to show you this.
He was like, you are gay. I'm trying to prove it to you.
I'm trying to help you know.
I'm trying to help you come out all the way.
Damn, dude. Fuck.
There goes the wedding ring.
Everything.
I have another hole you can stick that thing.
If we ever end, it's because of Drew's fault. You just had to make him come out all the way as gay, didn't you?
He came over here with intentions. Like I said, Drew and Bo had intentions. Bo was
he's gonna come over and be like, try to turn on at the end and be like, so you want to get dinner after this, Blake? Like, now that let's try this experiment.
Your relationship's over.
You need a second try. Yeah.
Wait, stop. Look at me. I literally showed up. I literally showed up and I'm like, you're a homo and you're a crazy person. You never invited me back again.
These guys, dude. He's gonna go do his own podcast tonight. He's like, you'll never believe what happened. Oh my god.
Oh my god, I love it. I love it.
Damn it, dude.
I think you're in denial. I honestly do.
Oh my god, and a fish tattoo? You're obsessed.
All the signs are there.
All right, guys, I gotta go. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and just
jack off to male model headshots.
I'm gonna go pull up pictures of Drew, just his top half, and see if I can get hard. And I'll be right back.
Please, let me know.
He comes back just like, I came. Oopsie.
Oopsie.
Yeah. No, she made me. She's like, okay. So here's what was happening with me. Like, I was, doing testosterone and steroids and Adderall, and like, it just turned into this whole fucking shit show where I was having a really hard time getting hard, really hard time coming. Like, I was just like, am I 37? Is it really happening to me now? And so I got PRP injections in my dick, platelet-rich plasma, to help reactivate cell growth and all that stuff. And then I stopped taking everything. I got off the medication, and all of a sudden, I didn't even need the PRP shots. Like, that just was just.
You're attached to that. That is.
It comes with it.
You need.
I need that because oh my god.
You lose them all the fucking time.
Okay, I'm gonna do.
I looked over in the corner of my eye and I was like, is he about to blow a whistle?
He's like, we're done.
Nope.
I was like, what the fuck?
Crazy, gay. I'm gonna start bringing the crazy whistle everywhere.
Oh my god, you're crazy and you're a homo.
I love it.
What were you saying, fish fucker?
The PRP injection. So, anyways, doing all that, all of a sudden now I can just because before I could only come in one position. I had to be on my knees, had to be jacking off. Now I can fucking come in any position, standing up, one leg up, wow. And she's like, and quickly too. And so she's like, let's test this. And she pulls up Disney princess porn, and it's a compilation, and it came to Maleficent.
Is it a people or a cartoon?
Cartoons, okay. Two-dimensional.
It looks just like Disney.
This is from the late 90s.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I came pretty fast within 2 minutes.
He came in 2 minutes and I think 34 seconds.
You timed it?
Yeah, because right when he came, I tapped the screen to see how long it took him. I just tapped the screen.
Oh, right.
Because I had the whole phone playing, and then when he came, I saw it come and I tapped the screen like that to see the number pop up. No. 2 minutes 34 seconds.
That's nuts.
Well, I mean, I think
to cartoon, by the way. So I'm never taking him to Disneyland ever again. You are banned from Disneyland.
Well, I haven't been there since they kicked me out. Okay.
Let's just keep it that. Now I know why. It was foreshadowing. They knew.
Okay, you're the pedophile. You're the one that had sex with your cousin. Okay.
Hey, that's incest. Okay?
That's a different thing.
Okay.
What?
I know. What? Anyways, back to being on top of it.
The cousin was younger than her.
What? No.
But as long as it was the cousin.
But they're both underage, and yeah.
Oh, they're both underage.
It's not pedophilia if you're both underage. So.
That's good.
So through porn, okay, so you've always been funny, dude.
Thank you.
Oh wait, I thought you're a comedian now. How's that?
Yeah. So you
were always telling jokes growing up, though, yeah.
I actually did stand up when I started when I was 21.
That's right.
And I did it for a few years in my early 20s, and then I just got really busy with life and just kind of stopped doing it. And then now that I moved to LA, I've been wanting to get back into it for the longest. And then when I moved to LA, I'm like, okay, now it's the time. There's been this ongoing plan. I'm going to move to LA and get back into comedy, and that's what I did. And I've been doing it for about 7 months, and I've been loving it. I have so much more to talk about. Be with the gay porn and just being a gay man living in West Hollywood, but also I'm just so much better of a storyteller and more confident as a public speaker than I was when I was 22, you know what I mean? So I've just been much better at it.
Were you like nervous to do your first show? Because it's always that kind of possible kind of just like, I'm gonna tell this joke, and if the crowd doesn't fucking laugh, I'm gonna kill myself right on the stage.
Yeah. That's your job.
So you know what it is. So I will say that I've always had a knack for comedy because both my parents are very funny, but then also stand-up comedy is the first thing I switched to when I decided that I was too old for cartoons. So when I was like 13, 14, I was like, I'm sick of Nickelodeon. Like I found Comedy Central, and especially back then, they were constantly just running stand-up.
Always.
And that's all
Always
I watched
specials.
throughout all my teens, and that kind of built in like the comedic timing and the storytelling. And then I think was a big part of the reason why I became like the funny guy. And so since I've always been good at it, even when I was 22, like I was good at it. So it was never, getting back into it was never like, what if this set bombs, or what if this joke doesn't get a laugh. I had the confidence that I know it's going to be funny to some degree. But that doesn't even if you know it's the best set in the world, if you're asked to get up in front of 30 people and do stand up, like it still was very nerve-wracking for me to get back into it.
Oh, dude, whether it's 10 people or 100 people, it doesn't matter. With less, it's probably even more racking.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because how I actually got back into it was so the first step, if people get into comedy, is to just start going to the comedy clubs, because you meet people, you network, you find out about different open mics and stuff.
Comedians hang out there usually.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and like basically I found out after going to like 2 or 3 shows that there is a comedy place in Hollywood that is a comics only open mic that's for people trying to get into stand-up or practice their stand-up. So what happens is it's only like you said, it's like 10 people. Everybody there is a comic. Everybody that goes is there to try out a 5-minute set, and it's a super supportive audience, very risk-free, because everybody's a comedian, and it's only 10 people. So a lot of people do that just to practice new material, but for me, it was the perfect segue to get back into it without the nerves or the pressure, and that helped a lot.
Broke the ice for you.
Yeah, I broke the ice, and I did well. So,
who was the first comedian that inspired you? Like, what was the first stand-up that you saw where you're like, you know what, this is for me? Like, fuck these cartoons. I'm not a kid anymore. This shit made me laugh.
Dave Chappelle.
Thank you.
It was so fucking funny.
You know what? Talk all the shit you want. Dave Chappelle is one of the most genius, funniest guys out there.
It's funny because I'm like, who is that?
I know. I was like, you don't know the blind black white supremacist? Like she's like, what? I'm like, Clayton Bigsby? No. She's like,
Clayton Bigsby.
Dude. When I first saw the Chappelle show, the first season, my buddy came over on the DVD. Because I had already seen Half Baked as always and still is today one of my favorite movies. I'm a huge stoner, first of all. Secondary to that, he's just, when he played Thurgood Jenkins, it was just like, I know every line from that whole movie, every character memorized. I'm the most annoying person when I watch any Dave Chappelle movies because I know all of his lines. I just really, really appreciate his comedy. So when I saw that he had his own special, because I didn't know that it was on Comedy Central, and then when the DVD came out, I was like, damn, this is wild. This is like, because did he kind of like really bring sketch comedy, like, or was there, there was like kids in the hall and stuff like that, you know?
He definitely paved the way and did stuff with sketch comedy that has not been done before. And every episode was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But, I remember a few years prior to him getting his own sketch comedy, he just had his first, like, there was no Netflix, but like comedy specials that were out and about, and that was my first conception of Dave Chappelle.
Was it an HBO thing, or was it before that?
I don't really. It must have been before that. I don't know where. It would just be on Comedy Central.
Yeah,
he got his own special,
yep.
And it was fucking hilarious. And I remember being like blown away by how funny it was. And then so that was my inspiration, was his like legit stand up, and then he blew up with his sketch comedy.
Oh, you know what he was in before Half Baked? Nutty Professor.
Was he? Oh,
he was the comedian.
I never saw it.
Oh, you got to see Nutty Professor, because Eddie Murphy and Dave Chappelle. What a wild thing, because like that was like one of his first movies. I think the first movie he did, he had to cross dress, because he talks about that in one of his. Really? He talks about how a lot of black actors or actors in general coming in, Hollywood kind of puts them, especially if they're straight, they kind of makes them fucking. Like, look at Marlon Wayans had to do it. They did it with white chicks. Like, there's always some aspect of cross dressing that comes in for these guys. Yeah, it's a very. I don't know what the whole basis behind it is, but maybe like emasculating these guys in a sense, but
Humbling them.
No, but like Nutty Professor was hilarious with Eddie Murphy, and then Dave Chappelle definitely. He's one of my favorite. I mean, Eddie Murphy also, and then Richard Pryor is great. But then there's also. Do you know Chris D'Elia?
He's my favorite.
Not off the top of my head.
He's funny. He's how old are you?
I'm 34.
You're 34. Okay, I'm 37. He's what is he, 39, something like that. But his biggest thing, he's one of those guys that looks like a drug dealer. It looks like a total, like he did a lot of drugs. He looks like it, but never done a drug in his life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like totally makes fun of himself on that. But she showed me him. I'm like, because I thought she was really boring when I met her. I'm like, you don't really like. But then she showed me the comedy.
Blow the whistle. Boring.
Yeah. Crazy. Boring. Faggot. Anyway, she showed me that. I'm like, damn, this is hilarious. You're actually kind of funny.
I'm sorry, hold up. You thought I was boring? Let's talk back to that. What?
This is a comedy show. We're doing funny stuff here. So
you thought I was boring when you first met me?
It's a joke.
No, it's just a joke, babe.
You fucking bitch.
It was a joke. So Dave, with Dave. So Dave was like, he inspired you in a sense, or like that was like the first.
He for sure did. He was definitely. There's a few people that stood out as like people that I remember watching early on, and he was one of them. Jim Gaffigan was another big one.
Jim's rad. Yeah, he's funny.
I remember that Dane Cook was the first comedian that one of the first comedians I ever watched, and being so envious of like I just remember wanting to do that so bad and like getting on stage. And to be honest, when I look back, like his comedy was just really like wild, crazy, loud, big noises. Like, and like even now when I look back, it's not my favorite. But he did really kind of pave the way. Like he was one of the first mainstream comedians of our generation. You know what I mean?
Dane Cook, he wasn't in Waiting. That was Ryan Reynolds, wasn't it? Did you see that movie, Waiting?
That was amazing.
That was a hilarious
movie.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember.
It was a funny movie. I love comedy, dude. I'm glad that I can vibe with you on this because a lot of people like you're just a smart dude. Speaking of Drew being smart, what did you used to do, bro?
I used to be a high school teacher. I was a high school math teacher. I taught for 4 years.
Can you please tutor our son?
Sure.
He is so bad at fucking math.
Really?
He's so bad at math.
It's fucking so frustrating. I love this kid, but he's just like, he doesn't get it. I don't know. How do you make a kid understand math if they just don't?
That's why I left.
He's like, I couldn't even do this.
Like you're a math guy, yeah? I mean,
huge math guy.
Like, all the way up through algebra 2, trigonometry, fucking what's above that? What's so you have calculus, pre-cal, calculus, and then what's above that?
In high school, calculus is the farthest.
But what about college? Like,
in college,
is there like any math above that?
There's like 4 calcs.
You just turn into like Leonardo da Vinci afterwards.
Basically, that's pretty much what you go for the degree.
Fucking turn into a helicopter.
Yeah, no. There's like 4 or 5.
You've mastered everything.
Achievement has been unlocked. There's no more math.
You're at Zen now, bitch.
You actually just turn into a fucking number, dude.
You are your own number. Yeah, it's so hot.
Hey, as long as it's dick shaped. If I was a 0 and you were
Does
a
he have
1,
a dick? I'm like, but what about the upper half of the number?
That's what this podcast is called, the upper half.
The upper half, yeah.
A lot of comedians, they like write and prepare their jokes pre-hand, correct?
Yeah.
So the same way that people kind of just like do freestyles, can you do it with jokes or no? Or do you kind of have to prepare something?
So I will say,
like if I was like, oh, go on stage and improv some like jokes, would you be able to do it, or do you need to like write it down?
So yes and no. So that is a good question. So that on its own is a skill. It's like 2 separate skills.
I know
it's called
some
crowd
people,
work.
Yeah, I know some people do. Yeah, they ask the crowd.
What's his name? The guy that's hot. Okay, so now from upper half, this guy's
so hot. Okay.
He's Matt Rife. Or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But he always asks the crowd, and then he goes back and forth with the crowd is saying.
So that's the thing, is that like, so for one, I've done that, but being that I've only been back into comedy maybe 7 months, I haven't done a lot of that, and I think that that the trade-off for me is that my material I can back and stand behind 100%. I think it's like it always gets a good reaction. It's very good. It's very scripted. And I workshop it out loud. I was actually doing that on the way here in the car of new material. And like, pick the best way to tweak it and word it, and I try to commit it to memory as best as possible. So even if it's a little off, it still rolls off the tongue very easily. So it's like I feel like I'm like 5 stars for my storytelling and scripted.
Yeah.
But the trade-off is that I feel like that's where I need to improve, is like doing more crowd work, because I just haven't done much of it.
That's something that's fine-tuned over time, dude. Like you can. Like growing up, there's always like that one guy that could just fucking make anybody laugh. They could pop off jokes, but I feel like that style of comedy is more. I don't want to call it like insult, but it's more like being able to
roasting.
It's the roast.
Yeah,
comedy.
that's the other thing. I'm also not
like,
an insult comic.
Right.
Like I talk about my sex life. Like I'm not the type of person that just like makes fun of people as a joke. That's not something I've ever. That's not me.
Except for Elena, crazy bitch.
Aside from you two, I don't really talk shit to people.
This is actually the first time Drew's ever like said mean things to people in his life.
Right, ever.
He's like,
congrats.
He's like, it took me 2 hours to get here, and now you don't fucking address anything to me when you sit. I sit in your house. There's like a dog licking me, and we fucking bring him on camera, and all we do is talk about ourselves.
He's got a lot of resentment right there.
No.
He's gonna hate fuck you later.
I can't wait.
One thing I want to do. So one thing I'd like to plug is that I booked my first 1-hour comedy special in Palm Springs. I'm really excited about it. April 1st at Toucans.
Oh no shit, at Toucans.
Yeah,
that's Chris Dam's favorite place.
Solid hour.
Fuck yeah, we'll be there.
How long is it?
Usually comedy sets are
30 minutes.
7 minutes, 10 minutes.
No fucking way.
Yeah, you know what? I saw
at a standard comedy show. If you're thinking like a Comedy Central special, then they're gonna have a 20-minute set, 30-minute set. But most comedy clubs, right? So most comedy clubs have like 7 or 8 comics that each get 8 to 10 minutes.
I didn't know
and
that.
you slowly work. I mean, because think about it. Most people are not paid comics.
Well, so I went to Chris D'Elia's show.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I saw him live at Irvine Spectrum, and he was like the main guy that everyone's going there for. But before he went on, there was like 5 other comedians, and they had like 10 minutes each. Yeah. But I remember like the opening act.
That's more typical, right? Only because
but they had shorter times than he did, and then when he finally went on, he had like a long ass time because everyone was really there for him.
It's like a headliner. Yeah. Because think about it: if you don't make it enough to be in comedy to be a headliner, and you have 25 minutes and you bomb the whole time, that's not good.
No one's gonna want to come back to, especially if you're on tour too.
Right? Yeah. Well, you wouldn't get a tour. Is the point?
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? So like open mics, comedy nights locally, or if you're opening for somebody, you're only going to get an 8-minute set, 10-minute set. So that's why it's such a monumental moment in my comedy career, is that I booked my first 1 hour, because that's a long fucking time.
Congratulations.
Did you reach out to them, or did they
reached out to me, which is really nice. They follow me on Insta.
Well, they probably follow you on OnlyFans.
Well, maybe
yeah, because
Palm
Springs. But you know what the cool thing about I love about Palm Springs and being in gay porn is that I know like we could literally go anywhere in Palm Springs and pretty much get anything for free.
Yeah, that's true. Like, yeah, Palm Springs is fun.
Like if I'm ever like low on money, I'm like, babe, you want to go on vacation? We can just like go out and go get free food and fucking gay clothes and haircuts and ride the tram and shit.
How do you feel about female comedians? I'm not a big fan of them because I feel like they play it too safe. So it's they never really go all out and be funny as guys. But like I've seen a lot of female comedians in person live, and it's kind of like I've never have as much laugh as I do with like the guys, because they're always playing it safe. Like they can't say this because it offends certain people. So how do you feel about female comedians?
Personally, I just feel like everybody's like I just feel like somebody, whether male or female, doesn't really have an impact on, because it's like everybody's talking about their experience, and they're either funny or they're not. Or they have good storytelling and comedic timing, or they don't. And if they are female, then they might be talking about their female experience, which is less relatable to me. But that doesn't mean that they can't knock it out of the park. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's kind of a toss up.
I mean, I've just never found them. And I've tried to, I've looked around, even online on Netflix. I'm like, let's look at other female comedians. Maybe it's just the ones that I saw were shitty, you know? Mm-hmm. So I look at the Netflix ones, the live ones, and it just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, I guess it really depends on what they are talking about, too.
Yeah.
I think for you as a comedian, though, you can appreciate that, and you have respect for someone's talent, whether or not they're, from a crowd sayers or a peanut gallery person's perspective. Like for you, you're like, damn, I know what that's like to, struggle through that. Maybe or not, maybe their stories weren't that great or not, but like maybe you can see it from a different perspective because you've kind of like treasured the water.
Funny or not.
You are either funny or not.
Because something I've grown to love is that I do a lot of comedy in West Hollywood, and even if it's not a gay audience, it's just a very progressive audience.
They're open,
female and male, and all, and what I think is funny is when I talk about my gay sex life, which is in its own insane, like outside of porn. And
I catch snippets of it. There's
a lot going on.
I feel like the shit that you post, like those aren't like the stuff. Most of the stuff you post about, like those are actual like your little
actual stories.
Those are actual things from your life.
Yeah, totally.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I thought those were like memes.
No. So that's the thing is like. So like I talk about what I think is funny is when I talk about my sex life on or on stage, everybody's laughing but for different reasons, because it's like the gay men are laughing because they find it relatable.
They identify. Yeah.
Whereas the women in the audience are laughing because it's outrageous. They're like, what? like you do what?
You actually do that?
You leave the door cracked and let strangers come fuck you in the ass?
Okay, like, wait. So please tell us then, because now I'm curious. About what. I want to be outrageous. Like, tell me. Like, what did you do? Like,
okay,
what's your
so
sex life
for
like?
example, I posted a reel on Insta maybe a few months ago.
Funny ones, dude.
Yeah.
Like
so
what about the sandwich one?
Remember, the what?
Remember the guy. He wasn't the guy. He was like.
Well, that's what it was a watermelon. Yeah. So that's the thing. I love face down, ass up fucking. Like, okay. The idea is just
you like topping
so hot.
or bottom?
Either. I'll do either. They're both really hot to me. It's just the whole dom sub energy of just using somebody or being used.
Oh my god!
And it's very so like the guy.
It's giving celebrity.
The guy I do this with often. I have like a regular that's a few blocks away from me. It's amazing. What cracks me up is he's really hot. He's handsome. He's fit. But all that does not matter. That's so not the point. I go in, the lights are low, he has music playing, and I just fuck his ass. And it's all about his ass, and it's so hot. Yeah. And who's attached to it? Irrelevant. Well, one time I went there and I was fucking him, and afterwards he told me that he was eating sliced watermelon out of a bowl while I was fucking him. Just the like idea of literally. And the idea of it's very common in gay hookup culture for one guy, well, no, not that, but for one guy to lay there and literally leave his apartment door cracked and maybe wear a blindfold or just have his head under a pillow and somebody just use his hole and like, but that's normal.
It's disgust. Like, oh, I'm gonna like leave my door open so you come over.
It's disgust,
you
have
right?
to tell somebody. You can't just assume that people are.
Wait, is that really that common? Because that's so hot.
It's so hot and it's so common, but women don't. That's like most women don't.
I knew a guy who told me, he was like, one time I was talking to this girl and she was telling me how her parents were going to be out of town. And so she left the door unlocked and she wanted him to come in the ski mask and just like
R-word him?
R-word her. Yeah. And so like, he told me how he pulled up in his ski mask and just like grabbed her, like held her down, like did all that. Wow. It was really like she wanted it.
Good for her to be female and still vocalize.
But is that like a normal thing?
He's doing 7 years now in Corcoran.
Idaho prison.
He's having the time of his life in Idaho prison.
And that's why you're a fucking comedian.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I dropped something funny. He can't come with the Idaho prison.
He's quick.
But I gotta work on this, crowd work. There's only 2 people in the crowd. Thank you. So the reason I brought up the hour thing is that just talking about doing crowd work and on the spot versus scripted is that hours long time, and I want to work on crowd work in general. And something I thought of is I would love to do, and I plan to do some maybe like 10 minutes of just Q&A of porn, because people have that's what's great about
like in your 1 hour comedy. Okay,
right, because people are fascinated by the porn. When I talk about behind the scenes stuff, because everybody knows about porn, but nobody's really done it, most people. So I find that when I'm talking about porn and being on set, even when I'm not at the punchline, people are very engaged because they find it interesting.
I mean, it's kind of like everyone watches porn, so like everyone knows what it is. So it's kind of like now it's kind of like you're knowing more about something that kind of like you've always been introduced to, but like you never really dabbled enough to know fully about it. So it's kind of like, I watch porn, I know porn, but I've never thought about these things. So it's kind of, it catches your attention because everyone can relate to porn.
Yeah, right. And so also when you talk about porn or your experiences on set, it usually on its own organically is funny. Like there's lots of funny things that happen, and so I've had people in other, not necessarily stand-up comedy, but there's been times where I've been on stage with a microphone and maybe after comedy or whatever, and people were asking me questions, or in a group, people are asking me questions, and like I just tell stories or answer the questions, but it comes out funny. Right. So that's my in on working on my crowd work. I want to
afterward. It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier, like with interviews. It's like, don't talk, like utilize every fucking skill that you have. Like now that you know that you're good at that, you can intertwine that in. Like have your script, blend that in, and then more scripted shit to end it out.
Right, because even if just the questions that are asked and what comes to my mind to answer it, even if there are no true jokes, punchlines, or something that's really funny, it's still silly. It's still entertaining.
It's engaging.
People want to hear it.
As long as the crowd is engaged. Right. If they're not sitting there like pondering, should I have spent this $10, $15, $5 to come into this show, if that doesn't cross their mind one time and they're looking at you, you're winning.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the icing on the cake is obviously people laughing. I feel like
also,
and it's good for
if I
morale.
start out with scripted material that I know works and I win everybody over at the beginning and everybody's laughing for the first 15-20 minutes,
you're good.
I can get away with 5-10 minutes of people not laughing with really interesting, funny conversational crowd work. You know
tactical.
What I mean? Yeah.
That's like very military approach. You're tactical like that in life.
No, I'm not.
You're very tactical.
No, I'm not.
Stop it.
No, I'm not. I swear. So it's very common for people in porn to eventually get out of it to do comedy. Why do you think that is?
What's the deal with that?
Is that common?
It's I know common.
There's a lot of porn stars that are doing comedy right now. There's girls too.
Yeah. What's that girl named? Sylvia
Spencer Sage Bradley. Yeah, Sylvia Sage.
Amazing.
She's funny.
She's funny, and she's like just pretty to look. Like as this is what we were talking about. Like as a gay man, I like looking at her. I'm not attracted to her.
You don't want to touch her. You don't want to touch her.
No face
from the top,
waist up. Yeah, no,
waist up.
I wouldn't have sex with her
above the titties. Yeah,
but I like watching her talk. She's so pretty.
I like watching you talk.
Aw.
He's like from the waist down.
I'm up here. Yeah, I know. Oh yeah.
He's like, oh man, come on. But yeah, why do you think that?
Okay,
is porn really that funny to us? Kind of like to where they're like, I just have to tell everyone about this.
It makes sense that porn. We were just talking about this beforehand. Is that like porn? The porn industry attracts a lot of people that have really interesting and unique experiences, tend to be very down to earth, tend to be more socially adept. And it makes sense that there would be a lot of funny people there. You know what I mean? Like, right, people that are good at maybe speaking or performing in front of a crowd, you know. And like you said, there's lots of funny stuff in porn to talk about. So
give us one messy story. Actually, I want two. One's physically messy and one's social media messy.
I don't know what you mean by that. Oh, about porn?
In your porn experience, just give us a funny story. Let's give us one funny story that's that might.
Let's hear your storytelling skills.
Yeah, tell us a story about the first time Drew did ...
I need a moment.
Oh my god, have you ever shot...
The bubbles are blooping at the bloop.
Wait, no. Have you ever shot a trance scene?
I have not.
Because you're supposed to film with Brittany Cade, right?
Oh, yeah.
So are you nervous about that?
I'm not.
Fuck no, he's not nervous. Have you seen his dick?
But he said he's never filmed trance scenes. It's kind of just like, it's crazy. Like, that's going to be your first time losing your transgenity.
So what I love about that plan is that we both won Best Newcomer.
That is that's very beautiful,
I think that's cute. Mm-hmm. No, I'm excited about it. Because, like I said, for me... Part of the reason I love porn and doing porn is the social aspect of it. I like meeting people. I like talking to people, getting to know people, making them laugh. And I feel like if it's a woman, if it's a man, trans, whatever, like that doesn't impact my ability to connect with somebody and make them laugh and joke around.
What the fuck?
Oh, he's spread his legs.
Oh man, I do the same thing.
He knows you're at the top.
I wish I knew that.
Okay, yeah, go on, carry on.
Okay, but funny story about Brittany. I met her. Okay, Falcon rented out their house that they live in to film porn. I didn't know that she's trans, and I was in basically basically we were done, and our crew was starting to leave the house as they were getting back into the house. And that's when I met her, because I was in a room. And I thought she was so pretty. I asked for her Instagram. She gave it, and her Instagram ends with XO. And I thought she said XL. I didn't know she's trans. And I said XL. I said, do you have a big dick too? Because my Instagram ends with XL. Yeah. And she's like, what? And I said, what did you say? And she said XO. And I was like, oh. And I felt so embarrassed. I had no idea that she has a penis.
Fucking out of it.
I didn't realize.
So how did you like find out eventually?
When she won fucking Best Trans Newcomer.
And you're like, oh my god!
I was like, I told her she
was trans. I told her she was
trying to be
trans.
silly, you know.
Yeah.
Brittany's watching this right now. Like, I remember that.
I can't wait till we film because I want to talk to her about that. Because I don't like.
You know what's so funny?
I felt bad.
You know what's so funny is that Brittany hires me as a videographer.
Oh really?
So when you film that, I'm most likely gonna be the one filming it for
really?
you. Yeah,
I
film all her content.
Oh, I love that. Yay.
Yeah, I'm like her go-to camera woman.
That's cute.
You're really good on the camera.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's all about the angles, right? Catching the right angle.
Are you not nervous for that?
No, because like I said, it's for me, it's about connecting with people. You know, a lot of times, like,
this is gonna be the first trans girl you've ever hooked up with. So you're kind of like giving up that gold star.
I've hooked up with trans men.
That's right.
That's so hot. I was so
really.
I didn't
I think we talked
know.
about that.
Maybe I didn't even know that I was so into it. Basically,
were you into it? Oh my god, best question. Are you into it because of like it's like physically a man or because like the pussy? Because for you're into trannies because you're into girls, and so you're kind of like, oh my god, yes, a girl and it has a dick.
Oh
this is great.
Wait, so that's.
But for
it's
you,
so funny. I don't understand your situation, but I literally have the same situation going.
Reversed.
Right, because for me, it's about the pussy.
What? And he's attracted to fucking the pussy, but he's not attracted to a woman. Women are attractive. He's not attracted to women. He's not essentially attracted to a pussy.
So fascinating.
But fucking pussy is attractive to him.
This is like a movie.
On
like,
a man,
it was within me the whole time.
Little did he know he was gonna be therapized.
Yeah, because the thing is, I've always been more top. Like I didn't even bottom until I was like 30, and like
Neither did I.
And
you're bottom at 12.
And
let's not forget the toilet paper handle situation.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What?
The what? Oh, you okay? Let him finish, and I'll talk.
Yeah.
Just basically, I remember when I was straight or in the closet, and like I had sex with women, I had girlfriends, and like I even as a closeted gay man would like still be the guy being like, when can we have sex? Because I love getting off and I love the way it felt, and I love the idea that like a vagina is
just like tugging on your dick
for a dick. It's just like
that's what he
it
always
feels
said.
so good.
Like, that's meant for.
And that was something in the back of my mind for 10 years. I didn't touch a vagina, and then like somebody reached out to me that's trans. Chance Hart. Yeah, and
Chance Hart as the most engorged clit I've ever seen in my life. It's like a full-on dick.
It is, and he even says that.
Yeah.
But basically, like he reached out to film, and I started looking through his Twitter and realizing that every single time that I looked at his Twitter, I got rock hard, and even to the point where there was times where I was filming and had to stop and go look at somebody's Twitter to get hard, and I didn't know I was into it. And then he came over. And we filmed, and I was so into it. I had no idea.
You came really hard.
Probably
the hardest you ever have in your life, I bet.
Where I'm like barbaric. I'm like, when I come.
So that's crazy. Like with you and it's like you like the outer. You're attracted to females, but you love dick. You're attracted to men, but you love pussy. And it's kind of like that. Was now you understand his logic. You know?
So
to answer the question, like waist up for me is a no. Like that's like there's nothing. Like I enjoy you as a person and I love your vagina, but like I don't feel compelled to make out with you, touch you. You know what I mean?
Okay, so with that being said, Brittany has a dick. Are you kind of just like, I need to just focus on the dick because I'm not attracted to like this is not doing it for me, but like the dick is. You know what I mean? Because you're not into girls.
I can't wait to put that dick in my mouth, but like I will enjoy the social aspect of making out and touching each other and foreplay just because I think that kind of stuff is fun in general to do with anybody. I mean, I'll admit flat out that like I'm not attracted to women. I've admitted that like 10 times. But like but that doesn't mean I won't enjoy it. It's just more like a social fun thing and doing things that feel good, even if I'm not sexually attracted to the upper half.
So after that, can you see yourself then kind of like, let's say you do it and you enjoy it, would you be open to kind of like doing more trance scenes, studio scenes, and then eventually doing like bi scenes? I've been saying
this to Alpha. Is like I'm exclusive for Falcon, so I can't right now, and I just re-signed, so it's going to be at least a year. But I would love to do that at some point.
Oh my God, your first tranny being taken, and I'm so happy it's Brittany.
Transgenity.
That's cute.
I mean, so you're driving over here, right, from WeHo, and it was a long drive, traffic. You had plenty of time to practice. You're working on a new bit. You have plenty of time.
No, don't do this to me.
No, we're doing it to you.
No, we're doing it to you. I want this. The new bit? Just why not? Bring it.
No, Drew Valentino.
I keep getting it.
No, it happens a lot.
She called Pierce Paris Drew Sebastian. I said, look, dude.
Well, that one doesn't make sense.
I said, his name's Daddy Drew. Okay, it's not Drew Sebastian. This is Drew Valentino.
I know. I need to keep thinking that. I keep getting it mixed. Like, it happens with everyone, though.
He's Italian.
No, it happens with everyone. I just get everyone.
You have a condition where you think everybody's Drew Sebastian.
Yeah. Like, after she saw him fuck me the other day, she's like, everyone needs to be Drew Sebastian now. Are you Drew? Just imagine. I just want you to imagine you're at Toucans right now.
No. It never works out.
Everybody is watching.
He's like, no. Okay, fine, since you keep tooting my horn.
Let me get the other mic.
Like, give me both.
You want it? That'd be great. Here.
Just come see.
Can you make me laugh? I want to see you make me laugh.
I've been making you laugh.
Wait, here's the thing.
Remember when I blew the whistle? That was funny.
Here's the thing. That's kind of like the audience. They haven't seen your show, so give them a little snippet just so they know. Like,
no. It never works out that way. Like without an audience, it's a different vibe.
It's better.
It's laughing out there. How about if I'll go over there? I'll be like,
We'll go in the back. We'll go in the back.
When you do stand up. Oh wait, this is helping. No. When you do stand up, you feed. Even if I'm not doing crowd work, like you feed off the energy of the room and the laughter and to just. This comes up a lot where people will be like, "Oh, tell me a joke or tell me a story," but it's just like with just one-on-one or one-on-two, and it's just silent. Like it's just never is a good idea.
That's funny because like, being in porn, they're like, you're like, oh, you must have a big dick, right? Like, oh, I'm a comedian. Tell a joke.
Make me laugh.
Right. Say something funny guy. Oh, yeah. You're not very funny.
What cracks me up is like,
your dick's not really big.
Yeah.
because the thing. So we were saying I'm a math person, right?
Yes.
And I have 2 master's degrees in mathematics, and I took all the calculuses, and people know that, and then will start asking me some computational bullshit as if that's what I've been studying for 6 years was to do fast arithmetic.
Really?
Like, really? 63 times 94?
Yeah.
It's like, that's not what I went to school for.
Like,
that's not what upper level mathematics is.
If I eat half a pie and eat your pie, would I still be a guy? Like, what the fuck?
Right. So
people are so weird with that.
People are really weird.
Like, oh, you're a porn star? Let me see your dick. Let's see it. Pull it out. Let me see it.
Right.
Fuck me.
And then knowing him, he'll do it too.
No, you're like, this one? Okay. Elena's funny. I don't know. So you're a top, right? And so more top than anything. So, and do you like public sex?
I don't like public sex.
Okay. And why don't you like public sex?
It's not that I don't like it. It's just not a kink for me as it is for some people.
So for some people, they just get hard immediately.
Right.
They're just like, oh. And I feel like being a bottom would be way easier to have a public sex kink because you don't have to do anything.
You got to douche.
Sure, but what kind of performance do you have to do? You literally just pull your pants down and stand in the park and get railed.
Yeah.
Or wherever else. And so she's like, get hard. She's like, babe, so we went to a fucking petting zoo. A reptile zoo.
What kind of petting zoo? Heavy petting zoo.
It was, I'll tell you how heavy it was, breaking it down really quick. It was so heavy that the tortoises were fucking.
That's hot.
Do you remember the tortoises? Have you ever had tortoises? Big ass tortoise.
Is that Brittany?
Like. No, that's a tortoise. That's a tortoise.
Yeah,
Brittany's tortoise.
They literally sound
so
like that.
Good.
Wow. So she's like, so we're seeing that. She's like, I want you to fuck me right now. I'm like, here in the fucking reptile zoo?
No, wait.
In front of my salad?
To be fair, there was a restroom. So me and him went to the family restroom, but It was a private little box. It was like a restroom, like a little room. And I was like, there's no one. Like, no one can walk in right now because the door is locked. We're just in this little room together. Yeah. And I put my pants down, and I was like, fuck me. But he wouldn't. So and then now he's like, I want to take you on a hike and fuck you. And I'm like, but you couldn't even perform at the zoo.
I was on Adderall and shit. Like, I was just like, and I just met you, and it was like, now I'm like, now.
Met me in my ass.
It was like 3 weeks. It was like 3 weeks.
It was not 3 weeks. It was like months in.
Okay, now I want to fuck you on a hike. Okay, I'm ready to do it. You ready? You ready to go hiking?
I'm ready to be disappointed.
Yes. Okay. No one's ever been disappointed by my penis or my butt. Okay?
The answer reptile zoo was the first.
You'll be the judge of that.
I've never been inside your butt.
We haven't had sex yet.
No, we haven't.
Oh.
So okay, so that's the thing is that
we shot a porn scene,
right? It was 4 people and me, but Alpha's role was he was like the informant or something.
I was
like,
the snitch.
He was like a snitch, and like he was just kind of helping abuse me.
Yeah, I was just holding you down. Yeah,
there it was clear for some reason in the script that we weren't.
I did not. Yeah, it was because I had already had 2 scenes, and
I sucked his dick.
I wasn't gonna get a 3rd scene, so they threw me a B-roll on that. I still was involved in a sense. So, but yeah, that was a very because I was like my job was to talk shit to you, hold you down. I think you sucked my dick.
I did suck your dick,
but I was more like I was like
my choice.
Yeah, I don't think you were supposed to. I was just supposed to like jack off and just
Okay.
But then you saw my dick there and you sucked it. So.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, well, when in prison.
I know. What a bad job of pretending this is non-consensual. Can I suck your excuse me? Can I eat your butthole?
Yeah, choke on that hole.
Choke on that fucking hole.
It's so funny because every guy that we brought on, for the most part, he's fucked them right after.
Slut.
Literally.
That doesn't even sound like filming was involved. Like you just fucked him in the ass.
No, he gets fucked.
I just bought him, dude. I just been on this bottoming run.
And it's just so funny because kind of like we bring these guys on and then afterwards it's just to be expected that they're gonna fuck right after. So
yeah,
it's really interesting that like all the
guys it's like our masking to like, oh, do you want to come on the podcast? But we're really trapping them.
Don't tell them that.
We're like trapping them and later before it's like, you know, the episode had a lot of glitches. We're not gonna publish it. However, the content was amazing.
Was great. In fact, we didn't record it. Thanks for fucking Alpha.
But you guys, that was this week's episode of Drew Valentino. Thank you so much, Drew, for coming on.
Yeah, thank you guys.
He is hilarious. I'm going to leave all his info down below. But before we go, is there anything else that you want to plug?
No, not really. You can just follow me everywhere. All the links are on drewvalentino.com. Insta, Twitter, TikTok.
Plug your comedy show, bro.
Yeah, in the comedy show, April 1st, 7:30. Saturday, April 1st, April Fool's Day, which is fun. At Toucans.
He's like,
Springs.
there is no show. Trick you.
I know.
They show up and he's like, there's no show. Trick
you. I'm here for like, I'm not on the list.
Tickets paid for and everything, and he's
April Fool.
Like, what list, bro? This is Toucans. Like, go sit at the bar.
The fucking mermaid convention.
Mermaid convention.
Yeah. He's like, hey, from the top up, how do I look? Minus the Triton.
Oh my god, that voice. Fucking King Triton.
Is there anything else that you want to plug?
Fuck, dude, I'm about to get plugged with this guy's fucking Italian sauce.
Every time. You get plugged every time. You're done plugging. You get plugged every time. Alpha Wolfie's all his shit in the description box down below.
Onlyfans.com/Alpha Wolf with an E, #1. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. But guys, thank you so much for watching. And until next week's episode, this has been Elena Demonetized. Let's get demonetized. Bye, guys.